the Motorbike Rider digital magazine.
Okay, here we start the Northumberland coast tour. You get yourself to the main roundabout that takes you onto the A189 heading north. Takes you towards Blythe. And here we are on a 24th of May 2013. The 27 miles to Alnwick. Again, it's a very compact region. But the history of Northumberland is very much in the coal mining, which was decimated, absolutely destroyed by Margaret Thatcher. But she wasn't the only one to blame. Arthur Scargill played his part as well. So at this roundabout we continue to follow the coastal route, which literally is straight across, and takes us to Woodhorn Colliery. This little roundabout again, turn left. Guess what we're following? Hey, Woodhorn. And the sign that says to Alnwick. Now here we have Woodhorn Colliery, and this is a visitor attraction. And I have to say, this is worth visiting. It's an amazing display. Fantastic. It's also got a country park. So if you've travelled up and to do the Northumberland coastal tour and you would like a rest, well, you can certainly pull over here and relax a bit. But there it is there. There's the wheels at the top that would let the men down and bring them back up from the coal face. But there's something else. It's haunted. Woodhorn Colliery is haunted. How do I know? Well, I came to visit here a couple of years ago, and there is a display that shows you what the coal face used to be like. And I just felt, woo, what the heck do I feel here? And I just happened to say, I've had a funny feeling here. To which the reply was, you're not the first. It's one of those things which drives me a bit cuckoo, really. I pick things up and get feelings and sensations. Don't we all? But I've picked up many feelings over the years of sort of things being there, and I certainly felt a coal miner was watching me as I stood and looked at the coal face. But that's what they were like. It's a great attraction, honestly. Get yourself here, spend a little bit of time and have a look around. It's superb. So coming back out the colliery, turn left and continue on the 189. following the coastal route. So we're now coming onto the outskirts of Amble, and this is where we're going to be heading down to the Amble Marina. And the harbour beaches. This little roundabout, see the brown signs ahead, keep following them, but it says harbour cruises and beaches. And again the brown signs which take us to the left, which takes us to the harbour and the marina area. So you see it's not that far off the beaten track. Then we come here, and just on the left, there you've got the Harbour Inn. A great traditional pub. And here, you've got the marina. Quayside Cafe and everything. But there's the marina. You can have a walk round and walk onto the front. Nice place to relax and visit. But it was a fishing port. And that was the most important part to this region, was the fishing. At the T-junction, turn right. This takes us back onto the coastal route, but it also takes us into a lovely village called Warkworth. There's the tidal river. Oh, there's a heron over there. Look at that view to the castle, eh? Fantastic! Oh, I love what I do, mate. Mill pond water on the river, a castle in the distance, beautiful blue skies. Well, what more could you ask for? What more could you ask for? So as we come to the T-junction, just at the castle, we're going to turn right, then head towards Alnwick and Alnmouth. How cool is that? I love the castles in this country. That's why I love Northumberland so much. Look at that, eh? So when that was built, these trees wouldn't have existed, the houses wouldn't have existed, the road wouldn't have existed, probably that wall didn't exist because that's been put up to protect it. But just look at that. Fan-bloody-tastic. And it's just on the edge of the lovely village of Warkworth. And we're just going to go over the River Cork here now. And this comes even up from Kielder area, runs through Bellingham. Look at the old bridge, brilliant. But now we're going to go somewhere. I don't really know how I should describe it, except I filmed it a couple of years ago and I didn't want to leave. It was a similar day to today. I just didn't want to leave. It was fabulous. Let's go and experience what that's like, eh? Come on. Woohoo! There it is. Look at that. Get in. The stunning coastal village of Alnmouth. We're going to be there in a minute. So as you come into Hipsburn, you can see the roundabout coming here and a little arrow saying turn right towards Alnmouth, and that's exactly what we're going to do. You see, we're only 3 miles from Alnwick. That's how close the coast is from Alnwick. And we all know what Alnwick is famous for. But we'll come on to that in a little bit. So we're coming to the outskirts of Alnmouth now, which is a beautiful coastal village. I've loved this village for years. So a little roundabout, turn to the right. And here we are. Whoa. Look at that. Oh my God. Look at that. Now if that isn't a sight that can take your breath away, I really don't know what is. Beautiful blue skies, some nice white clouds, the tide's out, little waves lapping in. I know it's only 20 past 8 in the morning, but come on. So if you want a game of golf, guess what's here? A golf course. So let's travel a little bit further down towards the beach so we can see a bit more. After all, that's what we're here for. As long as a golf ball doesn't hit me on the head. I've stopped here so we can see more of the beach. Mile after mile of golden sands. On a warm day, I can't think of anywhere I'd rather be. You see, Northumberland has long been called the Secret Kingdom. And when you visit the coast, you discover the crown jewels. Regions that simply take your breath away. Stunning golden sands. Tranquil areas just to chill out. What more could you want? Absolutely stunning coastline. Filled with history and heritage. My God. How lucky am I to be able to show you this? How lucky would you be to come and experience this? So come on. Come and experience it. This is Alnmouth, Northumberland at its very best. But we haven't finished yet. Not by a long chalk, we haven't finished yet. So as we come out of Allenmouth, we'll turn left now and we head over towards Alnwick. So round the roundabout and 3 miles to Alnwick. 3 miles to Alnwick. Now the coastal route takes you off at turning to the right there, which takes you to Boomer and Sea Houses. But I'm going to take you into Alnwick first, and then we're going to rejoin the coastal route. But we now come into the historic town of Alnwick, which is also the county town of Northumberland. A beautiful historic market town. Into the town centre. Here we are, centre of Alnwick. Historical market town. Bloody lovely. There's a market on today, being a Saturday. That's the town hall. Queen's Head Hotel. Turnbull's the Butchers is a really amazing butchers as well. You know, the good old butchers that has the proper stuff, not your plastic wrap rubbish from the supermarket. Am I allowed to say that? So as we come out towards it, we turn right. Down by the bus station, which is going to take us so we can go back to see the entrance of Alnwick Castle. Now Alnwick itself is the home of Alnwick Castle and gardens, where in the castle itself Harry Potter was filmed. If only I could remember the magic words for picking up the broom. Pick up the broom. And playing that Quidditch. Can you imagine if that was real? God, who wouldn't want to go to Hogwarts, eh? So as we come towards the end of going round, there's a sign there that says Alnwick Castle and Gardens. We turn right down here. And there it is in front of us there. They've now got little attractions so that you can experience some of firing the old medieval bows and arrows. But that's the entrance there, look. And there's the rampart. But when you go around the castle, oh my God, the layout inside and what you can see is just unbelievable. It's brilliant. And that's it there. That's Alnwick Castle there. Just behind those trees. Isn't it beautiful? So we leave Alnwick now and we head back towards the coast. So this is where we turn left, and this is going to take us to Sea Houses. As you can see, the signs over there. 13 miles to Sea Houses. So after we followed the twisty windy road from Alnwick, we come to the T-junction again. Then we turn right, and guess what sign's on that sign in front? I wonder if it says coastal route. Well, I think it does. Now this is Breednell on the right. And as I mentioned before, we're going to go into Breednell Bay. you continue a little bit further down, but when you get to this bend, you see the sign for Beardnell Village and Beardnell Harbour. This is the one that you want to take. Just wait till we go past here and we go around the corner of this building. Beardnell Bay. Absolutely stunning. Let's walk a bit further up. Now you can't tell me that this doesn't take your breath away on the Northumberland coast. Beardnell Bay, not far from Alnwick and just south of Sea Houses. Building sand castles at 9:30 on a Saturday morning. Kidding. So we leave Beardnell Bay now and head off to Sea Houses. Now I'm not too sure whether the camera can pick it up at that distance, but just over to the right, there's a lighthouse. That's the Farne Islands. So we now come into the outskirts of Sea Houses, built as a fishing village, fishing port. Crabs and lobsters in days gone by, no doubt, probably the herring as well, and the mackerel. But the whole area really survives very much so on tourism now. Get yourself on a boat out to the Farnes, especially on a day like today. It's just fabulous. There's the Farnes and one of the cruise ships going out, the tour ships, taking people out to the Farnes. Will you just sit there and look at that? No, not the bus, the castle. Oh my good God. Into Bamborough now. There have been more photographs taken of Bamborough Castle, I think, of just about any other castle I've ever seen. Especially when you're down on the beach looking up. It's one of the most iconic views in the world. Are you ready? Are you sure you're ready? Are you sitting comfortably? How about that, eh? Shall we go up and have a look? You bet your bottom dollar we're going up to have a look. Isn't that just stunning? Belonged to the Armstrong family. Now the Armstrong family also owned Cragside. In Cragside, legend has it, was the first building in the whole of the country to be lit by electric light. And because he was such an amazing engineer, he made enough money to be able to afford this spot. How cool is that, eh? Look at the view from just coming into the entrance here. Unfortunately, because of the fret, we can't see the farms. Let's go further in. Bamburgh Castle, the king of castles. Thank you. So as we winged our way up towards the castle, having come through the gates, just wait till you see the view. Just look at that. Mile after mile of golden, glorious beach. And the view from the beach backed up to the castle is simply spectacular. Let's go and have a quick walk round. Bamburgh Castle really is one of the crown jewels of the Northumberland coast. Built on top of basalt rock in a stunning location. It is the most stunning visitor attraction, I believe, in the whole of Northumberland. And if you don't come and see this, well, you're just missing out. And also, the castle does have specific parking for motorbikes, some really good hard standing, and also storage facilities for your gear, so you can leave it. You don't have to carry it around with you. The curator of the castle, a biker himself, understands we need looking after, bless him. But just look at this. How spectacular is that? We leave Bamburgh Castle, and over there, right in the distance, that's the Cheviot Hills. And we're heading that way. But first, we're going on to Holy Island. And we leave Bamburgh Castle, and over there, right in the distance, that's the Cheviot Hills. And we're heading that way. But first, we're going on to Holy Island. And here we are in Bamburgh. Now the Farne Islands has a story amongst it, or about it. And that was all to do with Grace Darling, who went out in a rowing boat to save people from a shipwreck. And such was her heroic endeavours, the legend still lives on today. And just on the outskirts, as we come up, heading north, just on the outskirts on the left, you've got the Grace Darling Museum, so you can find out all about her. And here it is here, just coming up on the left. So that's all about Grace Darling and her heroic events of saving people from the shipwreck on the Farnes. So we leave Bamburgh now from the most amazing castle in the world, and as we crest the hill coming out to Bamburgh, we drop down to another stunning view. the Northumberland coast, that I travel far and wide. It takes an awful lot to be anything better than the stunning Northumberland coastline. Just look at that. Mile after mile of golden beaches. And here we are, A1 north and south. This is where we're going to turn left to go towards Holy Island, which is only 12 miles away. So back on the A1, up to the turning to Holy Island. Now you see this garage coming up on the right. Just after there we're going to turn right and head off to the Holy Island of Lindisfarne. Now that the sea fet has lifted, it's an absolutely glorious day. Now Lindisfarne Priory, of course, they had the monks. It was also where the Lindisfarne Gospels came from, and they have a copy here for people to view. I think the main one is kept down in London. The most important part is this sign saying check tide tables. The reason for that, we're going across a causeway that when the tide comes in, it comes in like a bull in a bloody china shop, and there have been hundreds of people trapped on the causeway. Hundreds of people. So check the fact on the tides, because if you get across to the island, you might get stuck if you don't get off in time. But on the island itself, I was mentioning about the mead, the Lindisfarne mead. And it's very, well, it's made with honey. It's very sweet. So, unless you're into sweet stuff, I'd give it a miss. But what I would say, it's an acquired taste, and unless you try it, you don't know. But you can see the tide goes over here. When the tide's in, this road is actually underwater. So you've been warned. Check your tide tables, okay? But when the tide's out, just look at the expanse of golden sands. It's unbelievably stunning, isn't it? Mile after mile of nothingness. Get in. So Holy Island itself is a lovely place to visit. There are car parks, because you've got to walk around the island. Unless you live on the island itself, you're banned from driving around it, because it's only got a few short, small roads. But park up in the car park and have a walk around, go down to the priory, the castle, and explore what the island has to offer. But remember, check your tide tables. And so now we head back to the A1. Here we come back to the A1, where we're going to turn left. And we're going to turn left to take us down to Ford and Edel. You saw the sign before. So we're heading south again now, but very shortly we're going to be turning right to head towards the Cheviot Hill area, but we're going to Ford and Edel Estates. So it's Lowick and Fenwick that we want to be going towards. And now we head west towards Fort Beetle, and we're in for an absolutely stunning view as we travel across. Just look at that vast expanse of gorgeousness. We're at the top end of Northumberland, you see. Right the way in the distance, it wouldn't be surprising if that in fact is the Scottish borders. And straight on to Ford and Beetle Estates, follow the road round. Turning right here onto the A697 towards Ford and Beetle. Just you wait until we get the other side of this wooded area. Sit yourself down and prepare to be amazed. Look at that. You tell me anywhere in this country that is so stunning. Marauding Scots coming in to take over England. You will never take our freedom! Ah, fantastic. Do you know they were born tough up here? They had to be. And we're seeing an attraction later called Chillingham Castle, where a lot of them used to stay when the fighting went on. And it's the most haunted castle in the world. As you can see, there's the castle up there, look. There's the estate castle, hidden in amongst the trees. So the estate house, B&B guest house, well, it's a beautiful place to stay. Beautiful rooms, and then a fantastic breakfast. So as we come round, we turn left to head back to the main road, up towards Coldstream, because we're going to go and find the Battle of Flodden. Here we go. We're going to turn left to the Battle of Flodden. So we go up here towards Flodden Field. Battle in 1513. The battle lines are drawn, the killing fields, the Scottish battle line. Outflanked, ready, armed for the fight. Let battle commence. Let's go and have a look. It was said that within 30 minutes, 10,000 men lay dead. 10,000 men all over these fields. The killing fields. Unbelievable, isn't it? Just this small area for the English to defeat the Scots with swords and spears. Ah! Your battle has just begun and you find yourself in the English lines. Those around you are armed with billhooks and halberds, short stout weapons which can be thrust or swung to deadly effect. The Scottish army is spread along the skyline. You can see the white smoke from the first volley of their heavy cannon, which they had dragged through the mud from their positions on Flodden Hill. They struggle to find the range, and many of their shots fizz harmlessly overhead, but the lighter, more manoeuvrable English guns are about to return fire with greater effect. The forces of Hume and Huntley on the Scottish left will soon begin their advance down the slope to engage the English lines, under the command of Edmund Howard. Over to your right. Hume and Huntley's attack proves devastating to the English right flank, commanded by Edmund Howard. He is greatly outnumbered, and only the timely arrival of Dacre's horsemen saves the day. But on reaching the boggy ground in the dip ahead of you, they lose momentum and the tight formation upon which the pike depends. They are set upon by the English billmen, whose weapon is less unwieldy and much more suitable for close quarter fighting. King James and his troops attack in turn, but after initially pushing back the English lines, they run into similar difficulties during close combat. The year is 1513, which saw Henry VIII campaigning in France, leaving seasoned warrior, the Earl of Surrey, to guard northern England. Surrey marched his forces north, but avoiding the Scottish position with a wide flanking move to the east, making his approach from the north via Twizel Bridge. Battle commenced on the late afternoon of 9th of September 1513, when the guns opened fire from the Scots. It was dull, damp and muddy, having rained for most of the day. In the following hours these fields became the scene of bloody carnage, which an estimated 4,000 Englishmen and 10,000 Scots, including their king and many nobles, lost their lives. So that's the Battle of Flodden. 600 years ago, this year, in September the 9th, 2013, it is 600 years since this battle took place. So that's the Battle of Flodden site. And of course now I'm riding over ground that may well have been covered in floods of blood 600 years ago. So as we come back down from the battle site, we turn right to head south on the A697. Now here we're going to turn left towards Chatham, and that's going to take us towards Chillingham Castle. So we're heading east back towards the coast, but we're not going to obviously go that far. Here we're coming into the little village of Chatton. Now we're going to be turning right just as you enter the little village, and that takes us down to Chillingham. Now we've just entered the little hamlet of Chillingham, the home of the most haunted castle in the world. Now we've just entered the little hamlet of Chillingham, the home of the most haunted castle in the world. Now should you come to stay at Chillingham, because you can stay here as well, you can stay in one of the reputedly haunted rooms, or one of the rooms which nobody has ever thought was haunted. So you can come and have a chilling adventure, or a less chilling adventure. The choice is yours. But Sir Humphrey Wakefield was the man who took over Chillingham. It's in his family, and over that period of time he has discovered many things. Chillingham Castle was around in the 1300s, so that gives you an idea of how old it is. And there's been huge amounts of documentation found behind walls. But the most famous is the Blue Boy, that people reported seeing sort of a blue electric flash coming out of a wall. And when it was excavated, for want of a better word, they found a skeleton of a young boy dressed in blue, with somebody else. And I think the two of them, and other people think the two of them were buried together, alive. But just look at that. Chillingham Castle. The most haunted castle in the world, with a dungeon. And people have stayed here on some of the programmes, and of course, because you know what it is, your senses are heightened. But there's one part, and you can see it on Chillingham Castle's website, the stuff that Most Haunted did. And there's one part when he's in, I think it's the dungeon, where a white plastic box actually moves on its own. And just about scares the shit out of yourself. So as we come into Chillingham, this is the courtyard. Just think, 700 years of feet have walked across these flagstones. Wonder how many people are looking at me at the moment. Stunning, isn't it? And of course, from the Battle of Flodden, people did come and visit here and stayed. There's the chilling dungeon, which unfortunately the cameras won't pick anything up. But that is the room where the box moved on its own. Now there are ghost tours here as well, so that you can come and get your bloody wits frightened out of you. And hopefully I might even feature that one day. But it's an amazing visitor attraction. got to come and see it. So a little bit more about Chillingham then. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you. So can you imagine staying in that castle? Now we're going to go out the main gate, and this is the gate you come in and out of. But when you go inside, you can see just how original Sir Humphrey has kept it. And I think that's very important, that if you're going to be doing something and keep it as an attraction, you don't want it clinically clean. We want to see what it was like. Not all the walls done in flash. And it's also available for weddings. So if you want to have a wedding in what can only be described as the most stunning castle, with the most stunning history in stunning Northumberland, well, Chillingham for me would be a great place. You could even scare the guests to death probably by having a ghost walk. How brilliant would that be for a reception, eh? So we have Bamborough Castle on the coast. In my opinion, the best castle of its kind in the world. You've got the Battle of Flodden just up the road. You've got Chillingham Castle, hundreds of years old, the most haunted castle in the world. In a county of Northumberland, which as you've seen is simply bloody amazing. So we now head our way down turning left out of the castle towards Alnwick. You follow this road all the way down, that's where it takes you. You come back out at Alnwick, or go where you wish, wherever you're staying, wherever you'd like to visit, wherever you'd like to ride. Northumberland offers it all. And the next tour that you can look at within Northumberland is Hadrian's Wall in Northumberland National Park with Kielder Water, the largest man-made lake in Europe. So I hope you've enjoyed touring the Northumberland coast area with me and seeing some stunning castles, some wonderful stories about the battle, and that by seeing what Northumberland has to offer, it will inspire you to come and have a look. I promise you will not be disappointed. And as we look across to the Cheviot Hills, keep safe, drive steady. One day hopefully we'll meet up, and until then, bye bye for now. Take care. Cheerio. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. You cannot weapon.